you want, what you want. Come on. What you want, what you want.
What's going on, everybody? This is Pharaoh Black. I'm bringing my hotspot to you as promised. Today's feature is going to be the JoJo Bizarre Adventure figures by Mediacos, rather. Kujo Jotaro and Star Platinum, his stand. Now, every time I do the hotspot segment, it's not going to be 2 figures. Sometimes it might be 5 figures or just 1. It all depends on how they tie into each other and if they're relevant. If they're a team, or I mean, you know, they have to be very, very connected and can't really function without the other for me to bring 2 or more figures. So that's what I'm doing today. If you don't know about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, basically, Kujo Jotaro, his grandfather, Joseph Joestar, and a few others are going on a, should I say, a hunt for a vampire named Dio Brando. Dio pretty much killed Joseph Joestar's father, if I'm not mistaken, and took over his body. They know this by the star-shaped birthmark on his shoulder. But at any point, they use stand powers. Now, what that is that it's basically somewhat like a psychic energy that manifests itself into a physical type form. Some people's stand powers are connected to objects. Others just pretty much can manifest this being. That's what Star Platinum is. He's Kujo Jotaro's stand. He's very strong. He can lift large objects with little to no effort. He is extremely fast. The first installment of the anime, Kujo Jotaro was incarcerated and his grandfather came to get him, along with, you know, a couple other people that he was on the expedition with. And Kujo stated that he could get out anytime he wanted to. He could leave. He could just have Star Platinum bend the bars and he could just walk the fuck out of the cell. But you know, he didn't understand what was going on, and he took his grandfather's gun and put the gun inches away from his head and pulled the trigger. Now, Star Platinum, his instinct to survive, naturally, he was going to protect Kujo. And as fast as the bullet was released, was as fast as Star Platinum caught the bullet inches away from his head. So I mean, you're talking about I'm not even gonna say inches. This thing moves so fast. The bullet, he might have had the gun 1 inch away from his head, a little further, and this thing reached out and grabbed the bullet before it could even touch his head. Didn't even touch a hair. Now, what we find out towards the end of the series is that it's not that Star Platinum is really, really fast. It's that he has the ability to stop time for short periods of time. And not only that, if another stand has the ability to stop time, Kujo Jotaro has the ability to move while time is stopped. So it essentially just, it doesn't affect him. Star Platinum either. So I chose these 2 figures because They're Japanese imports, and the ACBA page, or the group for that matter, anybody associated with ACBA, there are very few of them that use import figures at all, or even watch animes. It's almost like a bandwagon type thing if you see it. Like Dragon Ball Z, how everyone is into Dragon Ball Z, so that's how you see the Dragon Ball Z imports. Oh, it's Dragon Ball Z. So I bring these to you because these figures are highly detailed and they are super articulated. Period. I mean, these are awesome figures. The paint apps are nice. They are a tad expensive. You can get them anywhere between $35 and $100, depending on the seller. Now, when they first came out, which was years back, yeah, they were about 35, 40 bucks. Now you're going to pay about 75 bucks a piece for them. I think I got both of mine for about $125 shipped. So it was a pretty good deal considering, you know, I didn't even have them when they came out. But nevertheless, let's get further into the review. Okay, here we have Kujo Jotaro. Now, this isn't the original version. This is the 4th version, if I'm not mistaken. I know the first version was black in the Stardust Crusaders, that whole thing. He wore a black coat, black pants, black hat. In the 2nd edition of the figure line, it was navy blue, and they call this the 4th, but it's the 3rd color of the uniform or his clothing, and it's white. I went with this one not because it was least expensive, because it wasn't. I went with it because I liked the white. He has purple and black shoes. I mean, and mind you, this this dude is dressed very weird. His shoes have gold highlights on them. You know, his clothes they're detailed. They have pleats and wrinkles. He has a pouch right there, as you see the gold on his belt, the hoops and the buckles, painted nicely. Those cuffs, those cuffs are a motherfucker, man. They're purple and yellow. Then he has on some type of weird vest. Looks almost like Gucci or something. But he has a purple belt or some type of strap going across his chest with the gold symbols on the hat, the neck. You know, as far as articulation goes, now he has up and down movement from the joint on the upper neck. He also has a joint on the lower neck. You know, good range of movement. Nothing impeding it at all. No impediment. Now, the articulation system. Now, if anyone has a Japanese import, they would tell you sometimes the articulation gets a tad tricky because of what they want him to be able to do, or the poses that they want you to pull off. Usually are iconic poses to the anime or the manga books, but his shoulders move up and down fully. This whole shoulder blade moves up. Excuse my ET looking fingers, you know. But anyway, then you have a ball joint on the inside of the shoulder cuff, or whatever you want to call it, which allows the figure to get a good range of movement outward. You have a double hinged ball joint. Essentially, it's just two balls where the arms are pegged in, and they move either at the lower part or at the upper part. It allows you to bend it all the way up like that. The wrists are on ball joints as well. So it's 2 pegs, 1 ball. You can spin it around, or it can go in and outward, which is kind of impeded because of the cuff. But excuse my phone if you hear that. I'm getting text messages like crazy. But the upper body has movement. I'm pretty sure it's on a ball joint, the same as the ball joints that are in the wrist. There's no waist movement at all, just top body movement. Okay, now this is where it gets really tricky at. If you can see that peg there on the inside, that's the ball that the inner mechanism is on. So you can move the leg up and down on that peg. It goes out that far only. It's only meant to go out so far because he doesn't do a lot of movement. He's a very cool type character. Like, seriously, man. I mean, this motherfucker doesn't move. He doesn't waste movement at all. He's very calm, always. I mean, just too damn calm. Anyway, this is the other part of the articulation for the leg. You can spin it around on that mechanism. So it's meant, you know, a lot of the figures are meant so you don't fuck up the paint. That you really don't want to chip the paint or scuff the paint up trying to move this figure around. So they give you a lot of little options for articulation to help prevent that. Double hinge knees, great range of movement. Now he has 2 moving joints. He has the cuff that moves, but he also has the foot is on a joint. It's in there. You probably can't see it, but it's in there. And it moves, it swivels back and forth. The toe moves. You know, like I said, he has a pretty great range of movement. That's his face if you can see it. He's in my my intro. You will see him standing there pointing, and Star Platinum standing behind him. We get into that in a minute. Now, as far as accessories, you can remove his hands. He comes with a series of different hands. Okay, 1, he comes with a hand with 2 fingers extended. Now, the point to this is when he does his cool shit and he grabs the brim of his hat and he adjusts it or looks down, or as he's always looking away from someone when he's talking to them because he's not worried about what you're gonna do at all. He's too cool for that shit. So that's the only purpose to that hand. Oh, quickly, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if the hat is only supposed to be across the front or what. I don't know why he has, like, this hat is made into his hair. That's some weird shit that they came up with. So don't ask me. That's just some weird shit. Also, he has basic hand in a relaxed position. Now, this basic hand that's in the relaxed position, you can also do the same thing if you want. Have him adjust the hat. Or, you know, hands just, you know, at his sides or something, you know. He has a finger pointing hand. You know, point the finger. Star Platinum, get him type pointing finger. You know, as well as the fist that are on each hand. Most of his extra hands are for his right hand, except for the relaxed hands. He has both of those, right and left. Now, he also has these hands. These are hands with no fingers, just tabs. They look weird, right? You know. But the point goes on there. And always be careful when you're taking these hands off, or focus in. if you're taking the hands off or whatever, you want to always be careful. Never like rush it, never snatch things off. Just be careful. But anyway, the point of these hands are there are holes in the back of the jacket. Come on, focus in. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the tabs peg into the hole is for his standard position that he's always standing in. This is how he stands. Hands in the pocket. He is not going to take his hands out of his pocket too much because he has no reason to, because he is not afraid of anything. And he stands there and it looks like his hands are really in his pockets. You know, at least his fingers are in his pockets. It's pretty nice. He also comes with his bag or satchel that you just throw it around his arm. So it's pretty much slide his arm through, put it over the shoulder, put that back inward, and there you have it, him standing there with his bag. It's pretty nice, nicely detailed, nicely painted. He comes with a separate head. Let's see if I can get the focus in on that. It's kind of hard. I want to show the faces. Open mouth, closed mouth. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's what it is. Open mouth, closed mouth. I guess it's supposed to be his angry face. It's not really angry. The hat is removable. And he comes with a separate hat. This one has some sort of dolphin or something on it. I don't know. It has some weird dolphin symbol on it. And it's not just for this head. You can wear either one either way. I just kept the one that comes in the package on them. So, you know, that is Jotaro Kujo. Weird name for a weird figure. These figures also, they come with instructions and they come with stands. I'm going to show you the stand. An actual stand, not the stand that we're talking about, but an actual stand. Now, these stands are on pegs. They're long, they're double jointed. And what you want to do is, move right here, you want to plug it into the base. It says JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But you want to plug it into the base and plug it into the character's back. The other piece of the base is this. So you want to plug them in, stick it in like so, and you can plug it into the hole on his back. And I think the only purpose of this is so that the figure won't be falling over. That's really the only purpose, in my opinion. Because Jotaro doesn't really do any fucking thing, you know? I mean, as a character, he's not running around and whooping ass or anything. He's not really doing anything at all. So, that's the base. So, we move him back over here. Get him over there. And we reach down here and we open up the package for Star Platinum. It's in the package, Star Platinum. So this is his stand, Star Platinum. He's the tough dude that I've been telling you about. No, the ass kicker. He's pretty nicely painted as well. He has a lot more articulation than Jotaro, a lot. He also has a harder time standing on his own than Jotaro. Now, as far as Star Platinum, same as Jotaro. He has the up and down movement. He has the left to right movement, and he also has the neck piece. He has a scarf on his neck, and you're able to move his head down into the scarf when he looks down like so. Shoulder pads, they're on ball joints, so they don't hinder your articulation at all. Still has the same basic articulation. He also can move, outward. He has bicep swivels. So, double hinge elbow, same as Kujo. Same thing with the wrist, except for his is a lot more functional because there's nothing hindering it. He has the upper waist swivel. Moves back and forth as well, but he also has a lower ab crunch that he's able to utilize. And he has waist swivel. So, as far as his legs go, they're on ball joints. Big balls. They're able to move up far. He's able to basically kick all the way up. Soft tunic. Swivel at the upper thigh. Double hinge knee. He has no swivel here, but he does have ball joints down here, so he can turn his ankles all around and his toe moves. So, you can get him into some pretty good poses. It depends on you. And if you watch Japanese anime, they do some really weird poses at times. So, like I said, he's harder to stand up. So, this is what I did with him. Something quick, but as you see, he can still use his toes to stand. This is his face. Very nicely painted. I like these figures a lot. He has accessories as well. Nothing major. Nothing like that you should really be like, oh my god. He comes with a separate head. The head is a screaming face because he doesn't talk. He just makes this sound when he hits, but that's his screaming face. It's nothing major. He has several hands. Now, what's going on with Star Platinum's hands are he has two pointing hands, pointing finger hands, right and left. He, his first edition, he was green, like his skin color was a very light, sea greenish color. And his second edition, he was almost sky blue with navy blue. But what the pointing is, he can extend his fingers out to pretty much stab you with them. I don't know, it's kind of corny to me, but he has grasping hands. He has two of those, right and left. He has one holding hand. Now, the purpose of the holding hand is this little hunk of wood. Now, I don't read the manga, so I have no fucking clue what this wood is about. None. But that's what he can do. He can hold this wood he came with. I don't know why he came with it, but he also has this hand. More of a relaxed action hand. The hand that they pose when they're going forward and they're drawing back into that magnificent pose where their hand is back like that. So, you know, still, it's pretty nice. And seeing as Star Platinum, he never walks. You never see him walking. He's pretty much always floating over JoJo. He seems to be a little huge. Actually, they're not man-sized. They're bigger than men. Most of the stands. So, and also I wanted to add that a stand can only move. Well, most stand users can only have their stand move a few feet from them. They can't really go across the street and without being. I mean, maybe some stand users can get their stands across the street and they get very weak. They have a couple of stand users that have great range, you know, like range out of this world. But Star Platinum can only go a few feet away from Kujo. So he has a stand, same as Kujo Jotaro's stand. Stand is the same. So there's no sense in showing off the stand. But what I do with my figures are, I have Kujo standing there, and I just take the stand and I plug it into Star Platinum's back, and I have Star Platinum floating behind JoJo. And whatever JoJo is doing, I typically try to have Star Platinum do the same thing. He doesn't have any pockets or any room to put his hands like he's in his pockets, like they're in their pockets rather. And so that's not going to work out. But all in all, this is what you get. This is the stand and the stand user. You cannot buy one without having the other. You could buy them separately, but they're pointless without the, stand is pointless without the user is pointless without the stand. So they kind of lock you into that. Buying two $35 to $75 figures so you can have the set because they're intricate to each other. But all in all, like I said, dope figures, man. Crazy dope figures. You can get a lot of poses, a lot of fight scenes. If you got a couple of these, man, you can really have some nice ACBA with these figures, man. All you have to do is sit down, watch the anime, and I guarantee you, you will at least want one. Probably Star Platinum and Kujo, but I recommend these to anybody. They're slept on figures. A lot of people know about them, but the ACBA community, I don't believe they do. I've taken pictures with a couple of them, and I get response like, wow, that guy is cool. Who is he? So I'm going to bring you this video on my hotspot so you won't even have to ask that question. I told you everything you need to know about these two figures. I didn't leave anything out. I know it was a little rough maybe watching the review because it's honestly my first review. But hey, I think it was pretty informative, especially for people who know nothing of the series and nothing of the figures. So you see the articulation is there. You don't have to worry about, oh man, if I buy that, will the shoulder pads stop his arms from moving up? Or because that's the little shit that I worry about when I see figures and no one's telling me anything. They're standing the figures either there, or you got some guy standing there going, yeah, look at the detail. Look at it, it's nice. These are great figures. You're like, man, oh my God. I wouldn't even do that to you guys. I'll give you the actual, factual point of view from myself, Pharaoh Black, who, take in mind, I am not a DC collector. I'm not a Marvel Legends collector. I am a action figure collector. I collect action figures. If it's dope, bring it to me. No ifs, ands, or buts. With that being said, this is Pharaoh Black coming to you again on Sunday, Black Sundays on the Hotspot. Hope you guys tune in for my next one. I'm going to try to do one every week on Black Sundays. So Hope to see you guys there. As always, peace.